What's going on, guys? Mickle here, and in this video I have some breaking information to share with you guys. We just got some new news that a new regulatory body could be stepping into the Ripple SEC case to bail XRP holders out of this lawsuit. This is some breaking information that I haven't seen anyone talking about. It's actually from a government insider, and it's no BitBoy crypto insider. This is a very trustworthy source, and you guys are definitely going to want to see this. If a third party steps into this lawsuit, they have the potential to make new rules regarding digital assets and potentially deem XRP not a security and rip it away from the jurisdiction of the SEC. This could be absolutely massive and could be a game changer for this lawsuit going forward, so make sure you guys stick around for this whole video. If you're new to this channel or come here all the time, make sure you like and subscribe. It helps me out so much in the YouTube algorithm and will help more people like you guys see this video. Anyway, with that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. Alrighty guys, let's jump right into it, and make sure you stick around for the end of the video. I have a ton of information to share with you guys today, but towards the end of the video, I'm going to be showing you insiders at the government specifically telling us that there are going to be some massive cryptocurrency regulations coming right around the corner, and these regulations could have the potential to deem XRP not a security and rip its regulatory status away from the SEC and hand it to a different agency. This could be absolutely monumental for the case and get XRP holders out of this lawsuit and give XRP the clarity it needs for exchanges to relist the asset. This is absolutely huge, and you guys have to see this at the end of the video. I want to start off right here though and talk about some of the more recent rulings in the SEC case, because these are massive and show the desperation going on at the SEC right now. We see right here, James Filan tweets out, the SEC has also requested an extension of time from Judge Torres to file objections to Judge Netburn's DPP ruling. The SEC had two different routes to take in response to Judge Netburn's DPP ruling. First, it could have requested that Judge Netburn reconsider her ruling, or second, it could have filed objections to Judge Netburn's ruling directly with Judge Torres, which is basically an appeal. What the SEC is trying to do right now is very desperately prevent Ripple from getting any of the DPP documents that the court ruled that the SEC needed to hand over to Ripple. These documents had to do with the Ethereum free pass speech and the SEC's decision making behind that. It is very apparent that the SEC is doing everything in their power to prevent them from having to hand over these documents. The court has already ruled that the SEC has to hand these over 3 times now, and it's getting very obvious that the SEC knows that their entire case is going to be sunk if they are forced to fork over these documents. Many lawyers have come out and said that this amount of reluctancy going on at the SEC right now is very unusual, and is telling us that there is a lot of desperation going on at the agency right now. We can see Jeremy Hogan tweets out right here, these motions solidify that the SEC will absolutely pull the plug on this litigation if it believes it might lose a major issue and creates case precedent that inhibits its ability to expand its control. What Jeremy Hogan is pointing out right now is the SEC is fighting tooth and nail over these documents because the SEC understands that if these documents get out to the court, get out to the public, it's going to sink their case, not only in this current case against Ripple, but against almost every other cryptocurrency company going forward. The SEC desperately does not want this to happen, and that's why they are fighting tooth and nail, trying to argue for more time, trying to re-argue the same issues over and over again in order to try to not hand over these documents. Lucky for us, I do not believe there's any way the SEC is going to get away with this. They are going to have to hand over these documents, but I don't think they're gonna. I think, like Jeremy Hogan points out, they are going to settle the case beforehand, because it is very obvious by their actions right now that they are willing to do anything in their power not to hand them over. I tweeted out right here, and this is to response to David Schwartz. He says, I almost choked on my Diet Coke. And it says, the SEC respectfully submits that these additional documents clarify the true deliberative nature of this discussion surrounding the SEC, the speech across the SEC, and show that the speech was not merely an actual or peripheral to actual policy, but in fact an essential link to the SEC's deliberative process. Right here, and David Schwartz tweets out, I choked on my Coke as I read this. Right here, the SEC, in their motion to extend this lawsuit, are directly contradicting the points they have made throughout this lawsuit. Now that it benefits them to say that these documents were actually, or the speech was actually directed by the agency, they're suddenly flipping their opinion and arguing it differently. It shows that the SEC had never really had a strategy on how to litigate this lawsuit, and they were really just litigating each issue as it came. The SEC is directly contradicting files they put in just under a month ago, and it does not take a lawyer to see this. When I read this paragraph, I was laughing out loud because of how absurd the SEC is litigating this. They are making arguments one week and then switching their argument to whatever sounds better in that specific instance of time. The reason the SEC is being forced to do this is because they have been lying throughout this case. They are constantly tripping their own feet as one lie is constantly getting in the way of the other, and we see that perfectly right here. We have known this entire time that this speech for Ethereum getting a free pass was 100% coordinated by the SEC. It is all over their website, and they literally say it in documents. This speech was given by the SEC. But when it came to this Ripple court case, they knew that at that time, saying the speech was guided by the SEC was a big issue. So they argued it wasn't guided by the SEC. It wasn't guided by the SEC. Now they're having an issue where the opposite is coming true. Now it's hurting them that the speech was William Hinman's personal opinion. So what do? They flip the argument, argue on the other side of it, and the SEC is trying to talk out of two sides of their mouth right now. It is nothing short of a complete embarrassment to the agency, and it is going to be so obvious to the court. I actually tweeted out, the SEC just makes up new arguments as it goes. Their legal team is desperately trying to cover up for the corruption going on at the agency. This is obvious to us and the court. I think enough said on that one. Let's keep moving. And right here, we see that Ripple actually responded to this argument. And I said it's becoming very obvious that the SEC was dangerously unprepared for this case. And I'm just going to show you one line of this ruling because I thought it was really the most important thing right here. And it says, what's more, the SEC apparently intends to argue, contrary to its repeated assertion and sworn statements, that Director Bill Hinman's June 28th speech represented his own personal views. This is exactly what I was talking about before. The SEC is flipping their argument based on what best suits them in that exact moment. That is not how you argue a lawsuit. That is not how you tell a story. And right now we see the SEC flipping their story every chance they can get to try to tell a new lie to the court. It is showing zero lack of confidence in their case. It is showing that they were grossly unprepared to go against Ripple's legal team. And it is showing that the credibility at that agency is not, there is absolutely no credibility at that agency. They are doing nothing to protect investors. All they're doing is trying to gain power in an industry and failing miserably. Let's keep going. This is another quote from the lawsuit. I think I covered that enough, but it's just so funny some of the things we're dealing with right now. We see Fox journalist tweets out and says the SEC legal team declared XRP a non-security in 2018. So what changed? It's just so obvious that the SEC cannot stop tripping on its own feet and are getting in its own way based on past things they said. Here's another hilarious thing. The SEC claimed XRP had no utility. Do you see how desperate they are? I tweeted out, and let's take a look at who's using XRP. I'm not going to go over this list. The fact of the matter, it is obvious to a toddler that XRP has utility. The SEC is trying to argue that it doesn't because that was what fit their case best in that exact moment. As soon as that stops fitting their case, they will argue the opposite. It shows that they have no litigation strategy going forward in this case. They say whatever they can to try to get a reaction out of the judge, and lucky for us, we got a smart judge who's going to see right through this BS and call the SEC out for what it is, a corrupt agency who's just trying to get power over a market. Let's keep going. And the next thing I really want to show you is this critical interview by actually the CEO of Reaper Financial, where he actually dropped an absolute bomb that we did not priorly know. Listen very closely to this, and this was the insider information that I was telling you guys you had to hear at the beginning of this video.
For one, it takes them so long to get anything done. So we may still be waiting another year or two for them to even get regulation or some sort of crypto law. But I know you wanted to speak on that. So what do you have to say?
Yeah, for sure. So as a government employee, everything the government does is going to be slow, but I do have a solid inside source that within the next couple of weeks, there'll be some very positive information coming out for the XRP ledger and for cryptocurrency in general. And I think everybody will be pleased to see the government moving in the right direction for once.
Boom. He says that he believes there is going to be very beneficial cryptocurrency regulations for the entire industry, but specifically XRP. He works for the government and has an inside source at the government who is telling them this. Who is the Reaper CEO? Well, he's a 15-year combat medic veteran. He is very trustworthy in my opinion. I have watched tons of interviews with this guy. He's extremely transparent, extremely straightforward, and I certainly believe him if he says he has a source that's told him this. I completely think he's being 100% truthful, and I believe we can even piece together other things that are being said to back up what he was saying. I'm going to fly through this. We see right here, Tom Emmer, new digital currency legislation coming soon. This completely aligns with what Patrick was telling us in this interview, and we know Tom Emmer also believes that XRP is not a security. He likely would not have tweeted out this if he didn't think it would help a lot of the biggest issues going on right now. We also see Blockworks tweets out just in Biden to release a government-wide strategy for digital assets as soon as February. And last of all, we see Ripple itself putting in the Tetragon case the possibility that the ultimate determination of whether XRP is a security or not may be made by another governmental authority other than the SEC. We can see all of the signs are pointing to that we are going to have some new massive regulation that is going to strip the power away from the SEC and likely create clarity in a market that desperately needs it. This would have the power to bail XRP holders out of this lawsuit, as XRP would be deemed once and for all de facto not a security of Ripple. It wouldn't end the case against Ripple, as they could still be charged for selling XRP in a way that represented a security, but the important part is me and you and every other XRP holder would be out of this lawsuit once and for all, and exchanges could relist XRP. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for coming. Make sure if you liked it, you subscribe to my channel and like the video down below. For now, Mickle out.